it going. I'm going to be tying the rest of the front engine bay together. I've got to do wiring, tucking it away, making sure nothing's gonna melt. I need to get my cooling system ready. I need to get my intake on. I need to make sure everything is going to last this season. So I need to put tranny fluid in. I need to put axles in. I've got a little pile of things I need to do. I've got oil cooler lines to do. I'm gonna get right into it. I'm also going to be running the engine to get it tuned properly and making sure everything is healthy with the engine. All I did was made sure it ran, and it did. So I'm gonna have to run it, make sure everything is perfect, because I don't want any problems with oil leaks or anything like that. So I'm gonna have to tune it as well.
Since this was the old steering rack out of the different car, with the power steering, I have never replaced the actual tie rod ends, so here I'm just replacing them, making sure everything's lubed up, good to go for the entire season, and not going to seize up.
Okay, so we are gonna talk about tires. The tires I ran at the track last year was a 205 50 16, and the total diameter of that is 22. So I was drag racing with those, and I went first to second gear, then second gear to fourth gear, skipping third because I'll break it, I know I will, and not using fifth because I'll break it, I know I will. And I was getting the car to 114 miles an hour just past half track, right off the limiter, and I couldn't get any faster, so I just stayed on the limiter and wanted to see what the car would do, right, rather than just letting off. So it ran 114.9 or whatever, and I'm like, obviously I need to go faster because I have a good part of the track that I can actually race, like accelerate, instead of just sitting on a rev limiter and not accelerating. So rather than using fifth gear, I'm gonna put a taller tire on. So I'm gonna upgrade to a 26-inch tall tire. So I'm gonna be increasing the tire size by 2. Okay, I'm gonna do this side again too. So what I've been doing is just making sure this is gonna be easy to work on later, and replacing the tie rod end, greasing everything up, ready to go for next time when I align it. All right, I'm just gonna throw some zip ties on my wiring harness, make sure nothing's gonna get burnt on the headers, and I'm gonna fire it up and do some tuning. Sounds good, but I've got to throw some tranny fluid in because I don't want to run her too dry. I kind of forgot about that, so I'm gonna throw that in quick. So there's a bolt that you got to take off on the transmission. It's right there. Got to take that out, and then I stick a hose in there from the top. It looks like this. I've attached a threaded piece that goes onto a traditional bottle for tranny fluid, and then it just has an obvious end of a hose. I go down there and shove it in. Now I'm just gonna cut a hole in the top so it gets some air, so it doesn't have to burp itself. And then it'll just feed in itself. You can also heat up the bottle with warm water and it'll make it flow in quicker. Left the cap up and it started pushing water out, so I'm gonna have to refill it. Just from running the car for like 2 minutes on normal pump fuel, I can't believe how hot the exhaust gets and everything. It's just such a difference between E85, because E85 runs much cooler, and I really appreciate E85 now because I could tell right away once this was running, like you can feel that the headers are getting hot. Oh my God. Not freaking good. I'm an idiot. Well, that really sucks, so I'm gonna have to just wait till it cools, put some water back in, and see if I had gasket or anything. I'm hoping not, so I'll let you know. I'm gonna put water back in soon.
So I warmed up the engine again, let her cool, and then went to refill.
Okay, that's a good sign. I'm gonna top it up again then. All right, she's cooled down again, so I'm gonna relieve the pressure and hopefully it doesn't overflow or anything stupid. Perfect. I'm gonna top her up again. All right, it's probably gonna be really hard to hear me, but I'm now tuning the TPS base AE, which is accelerated enrichment. So what I'm having an issue with is when I go to rev up the engine, it bogs down like really bad. I'll show you. Okay, so since I've been watching my air fuels, when I'm snapping the throttle, it's dropping to 10. So 10 means it's rich because the lower the number, the more fuel that's going in. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna take some fuel out off the TPS. Flatten it out, and then it should rev up better. There we go. This on the bottom here is going to be throttle percentage. So as it goes up, it's going to follow this line that I'm making, and I'll show you. So the green line goes up and it'll tell me where it goes up to. I'm just adjusting everything a little bit here. I'm gonna bring this over. Try it. When I first started tuning today, I kind of did a lot behind the scenes because I was trying to get this thing running well. I've got this engine running perfect. So what I had problems with before was I would go to start it and it would run really rich for like 20 seconds and then it would clear up and go away and it would run normally with my normal AE tools, right? So what I've done is I opened my after start enrichment. It's the enrichment after it started. So I dropped that percentage by about half and now I turn it over, it fires right up and then the idle comes right down. Air fuels are nice. It doesn't burp, spit, or anything. It just starts right up. Really good running engine so far. I was also in my accelerated enrichment. So I was using the TPS based AE, but I just went to the map based AE and it's revving up really smoothly now. I really like a snappy throttle, so I worked on that for a bit too. I was a little bit worried about the engine's health, but I'm now thinking that it's okay. The air's out of it, and I don't think I've got an issue. It's not overheating, so I'm gonna make sure that there's no air in it, obviously, further than I have now. So that's the only issue I saw was maybe it was just air in the system, and it was making her hot. So. the gears work. First gear's working. Second gear. Third gear. All right, it looks like I am done with this front engine. It runs, it's tuned, it's good enough to move around the shop with pump fuel, not a problem. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the bags into the back, the air bags for the suspension, air them up, air up the fronts, and then turn this car around. Okay, the bags are in, and now I'm just throwing the air lines on, so then I can put air to the bags so I can actually drive it not on the ground. Okay, I got my airlift system all hooked back up. I got the left rear bag in, right rear bag in, front right bag in, front left bag in. Everything's plugged in with the air lines and all that. I've got the wiring hooked up just temporarily. I'm gonna pump some air in it from the compressor at the shop into the tank, which is right here. And then I'm going to air the car up so then it can be set down onto the ground. Wheels are on, ready to go. Okay, now I'm gonna put some air into the system, just like so. So that's a front right bag, just front right button, front left bag, front left button, blah, blah, blah in the back as well. So I'm just gonna get them up there. I don't even know where they're sitting. They're around 50 in the back, 50 in front left, whatever. As long as it's not gonna rub on the ground. Now I'm gonna drop it off of the jack stands, which is sick. Well, again, I am an idiot. When I was filling up my transmission fluid with this bottle procedure, I ran the engine, and obviously the tranny was spinning too, while I had that little rubber in there, and it sucked it in there, and I didn't know till now because I can't get the hoses in there. I can't get it out. So I'm gonna have to put it on jack stands, and hopefully if I like start the engine, put it in reverse, it'll come out. I'm gonna have to see which way it wants to go. Got it out, and it couldn't have gotten any more sketchy. You can see how a gear grabbed it and didn't want to let go. I'm assuming it was the diff. Because it was such a coarse gear, but we got her out. There's a couple pieces of rubber in there. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not ripping it apart, not a chance. So if she works, I'm just gonna keep going with it. I've got something squeaking really bad in the transmission. Because when I push the clutch in, it stops. And I'm not sure if I just pushed the clutch in and it stopped. I'm not sure if that piece of rubber really did some damage in there or what. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. All right, I'm gonna start it again, make sure and hope that it's not gonna squeak. Okay, so as you can see, it did get quieter after it ran for a second. So I put more fluid in and I think it's fixed now. So I'm just gonna move on with this and hopefully it doesn't happen again. All right, there you have it. The front engine's in, it's running good on pump fuel for now. I'm gonna be going to E85 later on, but she's sweet. All I gotta do before I actually race it is throw a new turbo on the front. It's leaking real bad through the cold side, so I'm gonna have to deal with that later on because I need to order it. So that's it for this episode. Hope you like it. Like, comment, subscribe, and the next video will be moving on to the back. Really fairly frightening.